Alrighty, welcome back everyone. Scarland here bringing you a new Neverwinter video. And today you can clearly see the video title. Yes, it is true. Mythic Mounts are now confirmed and are in the game. So we're on the preview server. We're talking about Mod 19 today. Let's jump right into it and take a little peekaboo and see what we got going on. And then we're going to have a minor discussion and go over my overall opinions on Mythic Mounts. And we'll just talk it out. So again, we are on preview. Today is the 23rd, 4th. I don't even know what today is. And if you're watching this video in the future, this stuff may not even pertain to you, as this is the preview server. As always, things can change. They're all subject to change. So yes, Mythic Mounts. Can you believe it, folks? Here we are, Neverwinter 2020. We've been talking about it for a long time. Thomas Foss, during the Mod 16 era, told us that we would most likely not be getting Mythic Mounts anytime soon, if at all, because it's not possible. We all know that Cryptic, unfortunately, runs Neverwinter on an old engine, and the problem was with the mount speed itself. Going faster apparently was the problem. The FPS wouldn't be able to keep up, especially on console, and that was the reason they always gave us for Mythic Mounts not being a thing. Well, I always stated, well, why not just not increase the mount speed, but increase all the bonuses, right? And that's exactly what they did, folks. So this is going to be the first one. It is Mythic King of the Spines. Now we can briefly talk about why it's the King of the Spines. I'm not going to ruin the lore of Dungeons and Dragons. Nova will most likely put out a video if he already hasn't put out a video. Make sure you check it out. I'm sure that he will go over the lore. This is kind of a glimpse into the future, guys. I mean, I don't want to necessarily spoil it for anyone, but if you want to watch Nova's video, then by all means go check it out. But there's a reason why they actually selected the King of Spines to be the first Mythic Mount. So I know a lot of people are disappointed by this alone, because you have the first Mythic Mount in the game, and all it is a reskin, unfortunately. They didn't develop a new graphic. There's nothing new with this. It's legitimately 100% a reskin, and there's a reason for that. So let's go ahead, take a look at this briefly. Now, like I said, the mount speed is the same as Legendary. It has not changed. So that's why we have Mythic Mounts coming into the game. They didn't want to break the system. Everybody's still going to be as fast as they were previous, but now we're going to gain more statistical bonuses. Right off the bat, you can see the 7500 and 7500 power and armor pen. So if you're familiar with the T-Rex mount, you already know that it's a split stat mount. What happens is, from the Legendary to the Mythic, they're going to increase by 5,000 statistical value. So let's say you have a Warhorse or an Arcane Whirlwind, a 10,000 Legendary power mount. That's going to be increased to a 15,000 power mount when it becomes a Mythic version. Let's not fool ourselves here, guys. All of the previous Legendaries that we have are most likely going to eventually turn into Mythic versions of themselves. We're going to talk about that more in the discussion. Now, as far as the combat power, it goes up by 5%. So you should already know that the T-Rex is a 10% debuff. That's going to increase to a 15%. Now, I imagine the same rules apply. I haven't confirmed or denied if the Mythic is stacking like the old T-Rex used to stack, or if you could only have one T-Rex active. Or can you interact with a Mythic T-Rex and a Legendary T-Rex for an overall 25% debuff? These are still things that are very early and in the testing process. I would imagine nothing is going to stack, right? You're only going to be able to use one T-Rex. That's how it should work, but we know how Cryptic is. Mistakes happen. If it comes down to it and they do start stacking on top of each other, it'll ultimately get changed. Most likely, as working as intended, you're probably only going to be allowed to have one T-Rex, period, on one boss, for instance. So the Mythic will supersede the Legendary. So if someone casts a Legendary T-Rex and someone casts a Mythic, the Mythic's going to overwrite the Legendary bonus. So that is basically it. That's the only mount that they're teasing currently. Again, it's a 5,000 statistical bonus increase from legendary versions, as well as the combat power is like a 5% increase. So like on a swarm, for instance, that has a 5% debuff, a 5% buff, as well as all kind of other little tidbits, all that stuff is going to increase by 5%. So the Mythic Swarm should theoretically be a 10% debuff and a 10% buff. So keep that in mind. And like I said, let's not mistake ourselves here. So let's get into the discussion of Mythic Mounts and what the future of the mount system is. Chris has already stated, Mr. Whiteside has already stated, that they are currently working on revamps to the mount system. Now that could be a plethora of different things, right? That could simply mean some kind of rework with the insignias themselves. There could be some kind of rework with the mount system itself. We're to the point of the game where I'm not sure if we're even going to be able to upgrade Legendary into Mythic, but that now seems like a valid option. But again, we're talking about Cryptic here. They have to look at the revenue aspect as well. This mount in particularly states that it's going to be coming from the new lockbox. So now they're going to be pushing enchanted keys again throughout the player base. Right now, currently on live, opening lockboxes is completely irrelevant because they introduced account-wide mounts. Also, this Mythic, again, it's account-wide, guys. Account-wide. So if you do pull one of these, you can see at the bottom of your screen, it says lockbox. If you pull one of these out of the lockbox, this becomes an account-wide unlock Mythic mount. So we've now already are slowly leaning toward a new normal mount system where from here on out, I wouldn't be surprised if all legendary mythics are going to be account bound. The times of only using one mount per character, I think those times are gone now. And I'm okay with that. That's a system that should have been in play a long time ago. But here we are now, 2020, and we have it, right? So let's get back into the theory crafting again of, do you honestly think that maybe in this mount rework system, are we going to be able to upgrade blues to epics, epics to legendaries, legendaries to mythic? I kind of doubt it. I don't see that actually happening because there isn't a progression system for one specific mount, right? Like there's not a green T-Rex, there's not a blue T-Rex, there's only purple and legendary. So they could take that system and you could say, well, you can upgrade your epic to legendary and then legendary into mythic eventually. Or they could take that system and do it only for a legendary mount. So only legendary mounts will be able to upgrade into mythic. I honestly don't see this system coming into play. If anything, and I know Cryptic very well, if anything, they're going to slowly start drip lining the content. Because what they did is open up a new door. You already have, let's just say, how many legendary mounts are currently in the game? You know, around 50, maybe, probably less than 50, but probably less than 30. How many legendary mounts are in the game? Someone leave me a comment below. Go through and count them. How many individual legendary mounts do we currently have in the game? Well, now Cryptic just opened the door where you could take every single one of those legendaries and now make a mythic version out of it, and they just streamlined their content for, let's say, the next 3 years. Because let's be honest, guys, they're only teasing one mythic mount right now. So you're looking at module updates coming over, spread out through time, and we're probably only going to get one new mythic every mod. So you do the math. Right? You do the math. Let's say there's 30 to 40 legendary mounts in the game. You're talking about years and years and years of streamlined content, right? Even if they put one mythic in every new lockbox that comes out every new mod, this system could take them to mod 40 if they wanted. Now, do I honestly think they're going to do that? No, probably not. They're going to have some kind of sales going on. They're going to want to push these out. They're going to try to make some revenue, right? I wouldn't be surprised, and now, this is all theory crafted, this is all preview server. We don't even know if this is 100% officially coming mod 19. This Mythic Mount might not even come until mod 20. Yes, it's in the collections. Yes, this is technically mod 19 preview, but this mount in particular has nothing to do with mod 18. Or, I'm sorry, mod 19, right? Mod 19 is currently on preview, right? That's what everyone's testing. That's what just got released. This mount in particular doesn't have any ties with mod 19. It's not in the actual, Avernus map or anything. So them just putting this in the collections early and teasing it doesn't necessarily mean that this mount might be coming in mod 19. Now, of course, yes, maybe it is coming in mod 19, we don't know. We don't have any concrete information until Cryptic actually provides us with concrete information. So, I'm happy to see this. I'm happy to see the new normal for account-wide stuff, right? So let's go over the timeline, because there's also, Cryptic also was a little sleazy, right? Normal Cryptic philosophy, they pulled the good old bait and switch. If this Mythic Mount is coming as soon as mod 19, let's go through the timeline. For the first time in history, they started selling single, limited time legendary mounts in the Zen market for cold hard cash. $75 would have bought you a legendary. I'm talking about last Black Friday, back in November, when they introduced those 3 exclusive mounts. It was the Mossy Flail Snell, it was the Axebeak, the Till Axebeak, and it was the Cosmic Stag. There was 3 exclusive mount skins, and they were selling them for around $75 each for a legendary mount. That was the first time in history Cryptic was outright selling legendary mounts for cold hard cash. Now, let's fast forward a little down the road, and all of a sudden they released triple mount packs. If you're unfamiliar with the triple mount pack, it was a mount pack that gave you 3 legendary mounts that were account-wide unlocks. And that's where they blew it out of the water. That just blew the system out of the water. All of the legendary mounts previous to the account-wide ones literally became irrelevant overnight. And they were selling that for $150, right? And that wasn't even that long ago. We're talking about 2 months ago, right? 2 months ago, they introduced the account-wide legendary mount system. And now here we are, another 2 months down the road, and guess what? Now, all your legendary mounts are irrelevant, period, because now they're going to slowly start drip lining Mythic Mounts into the game. So that's called the bait and switch. If you're not familiar with business tactics and, anything related to business, it's called the bait and switch, guys. You introduce something into the game for your consumers, because that's what we are, we're consumers, to purchase with cold hard cash. But then you release something better and new down the line. And the argument is that we're playing a MMORPG that is quote unquote ever evolving, right? There's always going to be we knew Mythic Mounts were coming. This is no surprise to anyone. We knew Mythic Mounts was coming. It was only a matter of time and how long. And here we are in a game with a 7-year life cycle currently, and it's taken 7 years to get to the point of Mythic Mounts, account-wide Mythic Mounts. So that's called the bait and switch. They started selling single-use, character use legendary mounts for $75 a pop. A couple months down the road, they released account-wide legendary mounts. Now, here we are. A couple more months down the road, mod 19, Mythic Mounts are going to slowly start making an appearance. Legendary mounts are now irrelevant. So whether you agree with that business practice, because a lot of people don't, a lot of people will be super salty that they spent $150 to buy 3 legendary account-wide mounts, only to soon realize that now, 2 months down the road, they're pretty much obsolete. To a degree, obviously. Because, again, people are still going to be using legendary mounts until there is a plethora of Mythic Mounts available. Now, don't get me wrong. Day 1 of this Mythic coming out, everyone and their mother is going to want one. These will be flying off the shelves. Everyone is going to be popping boxes. Enchanted keys are going to go through the roof. Cryptic is going to make a substantial amount of money. You cannot argue that fact. It's simple logic. It's simple business tactics. They've done everything correct on their business model throughout this game's infancy. They're not stupid. They know what they're doing. So, and that's what it is, right? So whether you agree with them doing this, there's no, it is what it is. It's the bait and switch. It happens. Even me, if you know me personally as a player, I had a very large investment in the account-wide triple mount packs. A very large investment. And I've had to struggle over the past 2 days now trying to deplete my stock. Am I going to take a loss? No, I don't take losses. I'm still going to profit. But I just want everyone to be aware and be on the same page of Mythic Mounts and what's going to slowly start happening. We don't have any information. For all I know, the Cryptic for the Summer Festival could drop a new triple mount pack with Mythic Mounts in the entire mount pack and charge $300 for it. Right? That's the next logical step in the equation. You were selling single character legendary mounts for $75. Then, a couple months later, you introduce account-wide legendaries, and you get 3 of them. And that was $150. Well, now, you just introduced Mythic. So do you sell single Mythic, account-wides? Do you sell a pack of 3 of them for $300? We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what the future's going to hold. But you can predict the pathway that's going to happen. Like I said, as far as I know, we only might get 1 Mythic Mount from now on in a lockbox. The gamble feature has returned, folks, right? Lockboxes right now are useless. But lockboxes are going to shine again. Especially if that's the only source of these Mythic Mounts. People are going to be popping boxes and wasting so much money on enchanted keys because who's to say what the drop ratio is going to be? 0.1%, and we going back to that again? Right? The original drop rate of the original legendary mounts, it was horrible. It was horrible, the drop rate. So, this is a good discussion we're having here. I would love you guys to give me some feedback, leave me some comments below, and let me know your feelings of this. Like I said, there is a plethora of different avenues they could take. Are they going to have legendary mounts be upgraded to Mythic? It could happen, but I doubt it. I'm leaning more toward of them streamlining this content over the next, 2 or 3 years, or indefinitely at this point, right? Because this will become the new standard normal, right? I don't see them ever even coming out with new legendary mounts per se. Even though on preview currently right now, in Mod 19, there are new legendary mounts, right? So, I forget where they're at. Let me see if I can actually show you guys. I do believe that somewhere in here, I was going to save it for a different video, but somewhere in here, is these it right here? Yes, right here. Celestial Wings and Glorious Whirlwind, right? There's also 2 more mount skins right here. The Celestial Wings is actually a legendary mount, not even listed as account-wide. This is obviously a placeholder, right? This is not... we're on preview, guys. Keep that in mind. This is like day 2 of me actually filming. I mean, it even has the giant toad. Like, this is all incorrect. But the name is probably not. There's going to be a Celestial Wings mount right here. Yeah, it even has placeholder icons. Like, clearly this is not finished product yet. We're on preview server. But they're still actively going to release legendary mount skins that aren't account-wide. This isn't a mythic. This is a single-use legendary skin. So apparently that's still going to happen. But we're also going to have mythic mounts account-wide on top of that? I don't know. I don't see the reason for that. I mean, push for... this should just be mythic at this point. Mythic and account-wide. And then we also have the Glorious Whirlwind, which maybe these graphics are correct. I'm not sure. We'll have to revisit this down the road as we go out Mod 19 preview. So that's what I mean, guys. I mean, it is what it is ultimately, right? So there's a lot of salty people out there right now about the whole bait and switch mechanics, but I mean, it is what it is. It's business. And now we finally do have Mythic Mounts in the game that will be coming in the game. I just want to see how the system progresses itself from here on out. What's going to happen? Like I said, are they literally just going to bust a load right on our faces and say, listen, Summer Festival, everything in your mother's on sale right now. Here's also a $300 pack that might only have one account-wide mythic, or maybe 3 account-wide mythics for $300. You know, we don't know the future, right? We can kind of theory craft and theorize the pathway that they're going to take and the multiple options they have available to them as a company on how they're going to streamline all this from now on. But ultimately, we don't know. We won't know until the company actually does it. So, yeah, there it is, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. This is just our first preview video, sneak peek of the first Mythic Mount. It's not a meme anymore. This is not a meme anymore, guys. This is now factual. Like I said, we don't know if this is 100% confirmed for a Mod 19 release. It could even be Mod 20. Could just be in the collections as a little sneak peek. We don't exactly know. I saw a lot of people panic selling already. Stay the course, guys. If you made a substantial investment in the account-wide legendaries, don't panic. Calm down. Reevaluate the situation. Think about what you're doing intelligently. Like, if you were already intelligent enough to make a substantial investment in those account-wide mounts to begin with, then you should know what you're doing. Do not panic sell. I'm already seeing people panic sell. I'm seeing legendary mounts on Xbox right now. Account-wide legendary mounts dropped down to 3 million AD. Can you imagine? I saw people selling. I almost bought them. I almost bought them myself. 3 million AD for an account-wide legendary. Because just imagine, like I said, if they take the route that I'm assuming is going to happen and they drip line this content, we're only going to get one new mythic. One new mythic per mod, and you guys know how often mod releases come out. You're talking about several months in between mod releases for one new mythic mount. Legendaries are still going to be a thing until we have maybe 10 mythics out there on the market. And then they become the new standardized normal at that point. Everyone will be expected, if you're a top 1 percentile player base, you'll be expected to have multiple mythic mounts at that time. Like, who knows how long a mythic swarm is going to take to even get in the game? Are we talking about mod 25? Mod 26? Mod 30? Before we even see a mythic swarm? The T-Rex is not bad. It's not bad. It has its pros and cons. One of the cons is that the 15% most likely isn't going to stack. But we have new stat caps and, split armor pen power. This isn't horrible. I can see a lot of people going gaga over this mount just because A, it's the first mythic in the game, and B, the statistics are decent and you have to hit the new stat caps. But when it comes down to the combat power, most likely only one person is going to be able to use it. Right? So, I'm not saying, don't go crazy. I'm just saying don't panic. If you have a substantial investment in the account-wide legendaries, do not panic. Stay your course. It'll be okay. I couldn't believe when I saw people on Xbox dropping legendary account-wide mounts for 3 million AD. I just couldn't. And the prices they're still dropping right now. Hopefully people watch this video. Spread the word. Don't spread the word. I'll gladly buy them. You want to sell me account-wide legendaries? I'll buy any of them for 3 mil. Because I'm going to turn around and flip them. So, it is what it is. Stay the course, Timmies. Stay the course. Be focused. Use your intelligence. Make rational and logical decisions. Okay? Don't panic sell. Now, I could be wrong. Like I said, Cryptic could just release 10 mythic mounts all at once for the Summer Festival and say, oh, there you go. Here's a triple mythic pack for $300, and then they drop them all in our face. Then we have a problem. So, that's all I got for you. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. It was a pretty good discussion. Please leave me comments below. There's going to be a lot of mixed reviews on the Mythics. We've waited a long time for them, and they're here, folks. They're here. We asked Thomas when they were coming back in Mod 16. He said, yeah, probably never. And we all said, well, we don't really care about the speed. We just care about more statistical bonus. And guess what? That's what they did. Didn't increase the speed. Didn't break the engine. We just have higher statistical values now. So that's all I got for you guys. Enjoy it. Make sure you like the video. It really helps the YouTube algorithm. Leave a comment below. Tell me your feelings. And I'll see you guys real soon.